So, hey guys, this is Game Trap getting another origin story with local devs here. We're going to let them introduce them. So, what studio are you with?
We're with Mad Games Studio.
Mad Games, and you guys are?
I'm Frank Ortiz.
My name is Corvo Rubio.
All right. What game are you guys working on right now?
So we're working on a game right now called Dapper Tapper. And
the game is basically our take on the idea of an idle game or a clicker game, whereby we create a game that the gameplay is very simple, and it attracts the user in a very quick way, and it's just fun to play.
All right. So starting off simple is a good way to get into it as your
definitely
your first game.
Just finish a game. That's the main thing.
Just finish a game.
Finish
all right. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
So how has it been? How many people are on your team so far?
How much is that? I think it's
Math is
maybe,
a thing.
Maybe like 6 or 7.
but
I'd say loosely. We have a couple of loose members.
One of the bigger teams. For
Yeah.
Sure. All right. So what's your role in the studio? What's in Mad Games?
Okay. So personally, I have kind of a role of designer, producer, and programmer. So it's kind of all in one. That's what it really is.
Many hats. Right?
Yeah. And in small groups, everyone wears many hats. You know, people are wearing the same hats too. We have another developer that does much of this, like most of the stuff, and it's doing a great job. But myself, I just make sure that everything's running smoothly and moving forward.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
All right.
He's an awesome project manager.
Oh,
yeah, as you can see, I'm quite dapper.
Product placement.
Product placement. Right. So basically, I'm more like an art director / graphic designer. So I make sure that our artists are doing, the proper things that they have to do in regards to the front-facing things, and business card, logo, things like that, stuff like that. Yeah, we wear many hats, so as a result, it's inevitable that we will become more cross-disciplinary. Cross-discipline? Is that? Yeah, okay.
That works.
Didn't make that up, I swear.
All right. So how did you get into game development? Like, what was your origin?
Oh man. Okay. So. I mean, to put it simple, my origin is from, I love video games. I do. And then the other part of it is I love teaching. I love games and I love teaching. And there's always these educational games that aren't very fun. And so you can't really teach. Like, it defeats the purpose of having a game if it's not even worth playing. Like, it's not even fun. So that kind of just brought me into this because I have all these ideas that I want to put out there, and I learned to develop because of that. And now I have the power to do it, and I have the will to do it, so I'm doing it.
Yeah, so your background as a developer, like what languages or how did you go about learning? What was your first step?
So yeah, my first language that I tried to dive into was C++. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I liked that a bit, and I just moved some stuff around, played with variables. It got some good baseline knowledge, but I couldn't actually create anything on my own. I moved on to Visual Basic in school. I took like a semester. It was not even remotely helpful, but that's okay. Visual Basic. I could make a calculator though.
Yes.
Yeah.
So online, that's what you're going to make.
Exactly. So then I heard about a boot camp. I joined on. It's WinCode. It's here in Miami,
right.
And I learned Ruby on Rails, web development stuff. But from there on, even though it was web development, I could pretty much pick up any language because I got such deep knowledge.
That's fantastic. A lot of people think they have to go the C#, C++
No.
route, but you can make games with pretty much any language that suits you.
Yeah, I played around trying to make games with Ruby. It was very challenging. I was able to make a little something, but I was like, Unity's a little easier.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. And you, what was the path of art and creativity?
Yeah, so when I was little, I was struck by lightning and bitten by a cobra. I'm just kidding. So basically, ever since I was little, I have the need to just create. And then, in fact, there's a funny anecdote that everybody's tired of hearing, but I always say it. I actually learned English by playing Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Thank you, Nintendo. And at that point on, I noticed that games could have a very, very tangible impact in my life, and positive as well. So my need to create, juxtaposed with this idea that games could influence and you can interact with them, I just was like, oh my god, I really want to make games. So when I was little, I made board games. So at one point, I tried to make a 5-person chess. It was a disaster. It was horrible. But it was very interesting. The board was like the size of my room. And from that point on, little by little, I started in my art education, started at New School of the Arts. That's also UF. And learned about digital art. I fell in love with 3D modeling, 3D sculpting. I took a bunch of anatomy workshops. And before I know it, I am invested in this. So funny thing is that we found out that there was a game jam happening in the DMAC school, and I invited Frank, and we went there, and it was an amazing experience to see that multiple disciplines, sort of like programmers and artists, put together with a similar interest
And sound.
magic and sound and sound
Can't forget audio.
and sound.
Love you guys.
Thank you, Dean, for the sound.
Please exist more.
Yeah, seriously. So that was just a mind-blowing, life-changing experience. And ever since then, you just notice once you take a bite of the apple, you really can't go back. That's it.
So what kind of tools do you use as an artist for game development specifically?
Absolutely. Magic? No. So for game development, in our case, Dapper Tapper is a 2D game. We're using Unity as our engine. I'm sure Frank can talk more about that. But we're using Photoshop, Mischief by The Foundry, and Spriter, which is local, developed in Fort Lauderdale. Thank you, Brush Monkey. And it's very friendly to use because it allows our artists to create sprites in a very, very fast turnaround time. Normally, it would take months. We take like days, which is amazing.
And I love supporting another local group.
That's right.
Even better.
Yeah.
All right. So actually, we just are as we speak. There's an event that the Mad Games gentlemen here have been hosting. Create character design, correct?
Yes.
We're going through that. So I just want to thank you guys for being part of the community and doing what you do. Make Games in Miami. Mad Games has been holding events, game events too, for everyone to blow off steam, play some Smash Bros, have some pizza. So it's pretty awesome. But on that note, considering things down here in Florida that we're a relatively new community, how important is it that we continue doing events like this, like you guys pitching in and doing what you keep doing? How important is community?
It's so important. I mean, one of the biggest reasons I got into this, I considered going over to California because that's where there was a community. That's where I could pursue this career. And then I thought to myself, why chase that if I could actually just make it here? So, we just got together, and the big difference between being able to create something and not creating something is those other people, right? Yeah. Like, there's a lot of times I've been lost, and I'm like, I don't know what to use for this. What engine do I use? Where do I go for resources? All that stuff. And the community has been so much help. I don't think we could have done it without such a good community down here. And I love that it's growing because so many people are they're gonna learn a lot. It's good.
Absolutely. I think, if allow me to interject, I agree with what Frank is saying. Oftentimes we think that, I'm just gonna do it by myself. And sometimes you can, which is, hey, props, amazing. But it's also better if you do it in a team setting, if you do it around people. If you just go and find people that have the same interest, like what we did at the Game Jam, magic happens. You see, I use magic. I'm telling you, right? Right? But we also believe that there's definitely a lot of talent in Miami. It's just that we don't have the infrastructure is very young. Mm-hmm. But migrating is not going to solve it. So, sometimes the grass is not always greener on the other side. You gotta, water your. Why am I using so many analogies?
Some fertilizer.
Just fertilize things. Local talent. It's awesome. Support it. We got this.
Well, fantastic. I just wanted to thank you guys again. We're going to have this up so everyone can check out the awesome origin story of Mad Games.
Like an
Lightning Strikes and Cobras. But yeah, thanks again, guys. Yeah. All right, so Game Trap, we're going to have more interviews coming up from Talent Around South Florida, and check us out later. Remember to subscribe.
Cheers. Mad Games.